Hello and welcome to New Meta Podcast, episode 81. Podcasts are all we have left. Marco, how are you doing this week?
I am alive, well and healthy. You'll be glad to know.
Excellent.
Doing good?
Yeah. I actually called the podcast, not last episode, but the episode before, episode 79. I titled it, Give Me Coronavirus so I can self-isolate and play pubs.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like a joke at the time, and now it's so serious, I'm like, damn, do I have to change the title?
Issue an apology to everybody.
Yeah, issue an apology to anyone that's affected by coronavirus, which is everyone, so... Yeah. Well, like I said in that episode, at least we have the pod. Will live on forever in our now permanent virtual social lives. This is the biggest social event we have now on the calendar.
Yeah, we live on the internet now.
Yeah, virtually meeting up to do a pod. Yeah, likewise, Adam, welcome to the pod too. How are you?
I am good. I'm holed up in my room with no plans of leaving anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for a laptop so I can not go into work, and I'm very much looking forward to that. I don't know when that'll be, but good times when that happens, because, that's just going to be good.
You gotta sit on the subway, right? Or the train?
Well, yeah, I've got to get a train, yeah, so that's not ideal.
That's not good.
It's weird, though, because it's sort of, because nobody else is on the train, pretty much. It's at 10%, well, maybe 15% capacity, 10% capacity. It sort of makes it safer for me, as someone that does still have to take the train, because there's hardly anyone on it. But I don't know. Hopefully I get a laptop soon and I can start grinding pubs while I'm logged into Skype business, so I appear online or whatever.
The moment when you're on a call and you don't mute yourself in game is someone just a team of people hearing you flame someone all this gibberish. My fucking net didn't hit. What's going on?
Yeah.
God, there are going to be some funny clips of people getting accidentally caught not working at home.
Yeah.
I've already seen a screenshot of an email someone received about when you remote in. There's an option to black your screen, otherwise IT can see everything you're doing. So it's they got an email just hey, just so you know, we see your screen. We can see you looking at porn in between inquiries. So if you could just go up to this option and click that to black your screen, that'd be great.
That's so funny.
The reason I want to get working from home, and that's still kind of in the pipeline, is this We Play tournament, charity tournament that's going to come out. I just want to have that on in the background all day. And all these tier 1 teams just slog. That'd be so sick.
So who's in for that We Play now? You say tier 1 teams. I actually haven't checked. Is it
Secret?
Oh, I know is EG in there? OG?
Well, let me pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up. There's a big list, and it's all big China, EU, and A teams, honestly.
Oh, China teams.
There's
are
a
in
lot
there.
of good teams.
Is it not online? How are they doing?
Here we go.
China?
We got Business Associates, Crazy, Cloud9, and EG from North America. Liquid, Secret, Enigma, OG from Europe. Virtus Pro, Hellraisers, Navi. I don't know. You call them Bait. The Dindy Stack, is that B8? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, eHome, Invictus, Vici, LGD, Geek Fam, Boom, TNC, Predator, Team Adroit from Southeast Asia, and then South America has No Ping, Thunder Predator, Beast Coast, and Furia. So it's dang, that's a major.
So all the teams are just playing their own region, looking at the bracket. Yeah. The European, to say Europe again, Liquid, OG, Secret, Enigma, that's just tier 1 to S tier.
Yeah. To be fair, China's pretty stacked as well.
And
China will be good.
China is stacked as well. It's incredible quality about to come up.
Yeah. And then you get to see EG win something, hopefully.
EG versus Business Associates. Heck yeah.
Big game. I love how Business Associates just wear suit and tie. I don't know if you saw that. They played a LAN, They played a LAN and everyone's just dressed up as Business Associates. That's strong commitment to Dota.
You can see the new Cloud9 too. The new EE stack.
Yeah. I don't know, just seeing EE at the top, just
that's an interesting.
Yeah, that's exciting.
That Cloud9 stack's quite quite cool. Couple Danes in there with Ace and Misery.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see Misery back. He hasn't played for a little while, it feels like, on the top team anyway, since he was at EG.
That's such a old school team, this Cloud9 stack. Like, you could have had that 7 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Proper veterans now. Well, they're all crap, so the team won't do very well because the competition's so good.
Hey, Pylai, he's still tier 1-5.
Tier 1?
He's a tier 1-5, yeah.
That's questionable.
That's very questionable.
Anyway, yeah, that's WePlay, so that is quite exciting. Before we move on to what's quite a chunky episode, I suppose, we've got a very healthy patch. I presume was going to be released after the LA Major or something, and now they've just released it. I don't know how that would have worked out, but that's what I presume. 7.25 and 7.25a. Any games to report from either of you? How have games been?
I have played games.
Yeah? Have you played good games?
Yes. I'm trying to think. When did it come out 2 days ago? Played about 8 games on it.
Nice.
There's definitely some strong heroes. But
yes.
I kind of like it. Kind of like the change up. Tried Dazzle Ags twice. Very underwhelmed with it.
Yeah. I mean, I've played 2 games, both party games. Bust out an easy Spectre win, bust out an easy Terrorblade win. So, carry on the cards. Do you agree with that statement, Marco? Do you see my TV?
I did see it, as in both those games. To be honest, the TB was good.
The TB was passable.
It was not definitely passable. You fought with the team, which was good. I mean, I think no doubt the mechanics of farming on a TB can always be improved, but the fact you were getting involved in fights made a massive difference. So that was good to see. And the spec, that was that really interesting win we had where we have Dazzle and a Greaves, Necro, and maybe another healer. And we ended up just balling eventually after getting slapped. And I felt like that it was the most calamitous game. I'm like 0-6 mid-Veno. I skilled my level 1 wrong. I still got the Plague Wards at level 1, so I was just useless. I had a really rough time. But eventually the team, which I felt like our stack was just really all over the place. Eventually we came together, had a bit of coordinated movement as a team, and then just absolute death ball wins. That was quite cool.
Yeah, literally came together into a ball.
I can't tell you how many games I've won like that on like Dynamic. So our boy Dynamic was playing Necro and just went Greaves. Threw in a Vlad's first, but basically went Greaves. I can't tell you how many games I've won on Necro / Viper / Underlord, any Greaves hero, where you just build Greaves and then just push it. Like, we're 10k behind and we basically just go high ground. I feel like maybe we win a fight while we're 10k behind. That swings maybe like 3 or 4k towards us, and then we just go high ground while we're down 6k. And we've just got too much sustain. With Dazzle, it's graving whoever they try and burst, and any AoE damage is just negated by 1 Dazzle and 2 Necro Greaves and heal. It's just a classic winning recipe, that high ground push. I feel like we talked about it so many times.
It was really fun to play as well, though, because when we did our first high ground push, they had 5 alive. I feel like they had 5 alive, or no, I think they did, because we wiped them, then took tier 2, and then they all respawned, but we're at tier 3, and then they were throwing buybacks and bodies, they were throwing everything, every ult, every spell, and we just kept holding ground, staying as this 5, mass heal, they couldn't break us down. It was like one of those wave games where you've got to hold off waves of creep. It was just like that with the enemy team, they just kept throwing themselves on us.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. I guess let's move on to the patch then. I don't think there's too much other things to discuss in how have games been. First thing I want to talk about, and Adam says he's played like 8 games, so you'll have a better grasp of how this feels. Although me and Marco have played just 2, I believe. This changed to all picking phases, so just to read through it quickly. All pick hero picking has been reworked. It now has 5 rounds. Each round, Radiant and Dire pick 1 hero each at the same time, and the selection each team makes is hidden until the next round. If a duplicate pick occurs, the player who picked it second will be given some extra time to select another hero. and banning as well. So reworked how banning works. Previously, half of the voted heroes would get banned. Now each ban has a 50% chance of succeeding. If there are less than 10 heroes banned, heroes will automatically roll for banning based on their ban rate at your MMR. And to just put some clarity on that, because the first time I read through the changes to banning, I misunderstood what it meant. So when it says roll for banning based on the hero's ban rate at your MMR, if a hero has, I don't know, a 30% ban rate, there's a 30% chance it will be nominated for banning. If it's got a 2% ban rate, there's a 2% chance it's one of the 10 heroes that are going to get banned, or one of the however many heroes that there needs to be to make up 10 total, combined with the bans that the players have chosen. Do you two understand what I mean by that? Have I explained that succinctly?
Yes.
Okay.
So let me see if I've learnt from Teacher Stan. Say that there's a game and 5 heroes get nominated for ban. The remaining 5 heroes that will go into the possible ban pool are chosen by just games wide who gets banned the most often. Statistically. So say we don't ban techies and we've got 5 heroes to fill our ban pool. Techies gets banned 50% of the time across pubs. Does that mean techies has a 50% chance to get banned, to join our ban pool?
Yeah.
After which...
Is it 50%?
Or maybe it's a weighted chance.
It's weighted because if you add up the ban rates of all heroes, it won't equal 100. So if it's a 50% ban rate, it'll maybe be like 25% chance to be banned or something. But I don't know.
It's going to have a stronger weight in terms of
it has
getting
a more
into the
chance
ban
of being
pool.
banned than a Chin.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then once it gets into the ban pool, and we've now got 10 heroes in the ban pool, 5 will get banned.
Yes. No, they all have a 50. No, they all have a 50% chance.
Oh, so it's 0
There's
to
going
10.
to be 10 bans every game.
There's always 10 bans.
And
There could be.
If you only nominate like 5 heroes, they're going to pick 5 more to ban.
Oh,
and
so that means
picking of the 5 other heroes is based off of ban rates in your bracket.
wait.
So techies will probably be banned out of.
So you're saying the hero I ban is banned 100% certain from the game?
50%. 50%.
Yeah, so 10 heroes are chosen and they all have a 50% chance to get banned.
No. There will be 10 heroes banned no matter what.
You just might not. Your ban might not go through.
Yeah.
But if every player bans one hero, there'll be 10 heroes in the ban pool, and you're saying...
So each of those 10 heroes in the ban pool will have a 50% chance of being banned. Then on top of that, whatever's left, say there's 6 gets filled in. So when they're going through pick rates when they're going through ban rates to choose these extra heroes, it's not, techies now it has like a 40% chance to be one of the nominated extra heroes. He has a 40% chance to just be banned straight up.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
So say 10 players in the game, all ban a hero. There could be none of those heroes banned, or there could be all of those 10 heroes banned. It's just 50-50 for every one of them. And then the numbers that don't fill up to 10 are automatically randomized from...
guaranteed bans from
weighted,
based on pick rates. Yeah, weighted.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, so I can go, I've got 50% chance of banning techies. At least, if I ban techies every game.
Yeah, and then I think if your ban doesn't go through, there might even still be a chance it gets banned on the fill-ins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd have thought so.
Hard to know either way, but...
I don't think that they would have the sentence, now each ban has a 50% chance of succeeding, if it was actually more than that.
Interesting. Well, either way... I like it because a lot of the time, only 2 people would nominate someone to ban, and it's like if only one person nominated a hero to ban, nothing got banned. So you actually needed 2 or 3 people to nominate something to ban, so you had the 50% chance of your ban going through to begin with. I like that I just flat banned 10 people or 10 heroes at the beginning.
So what do you think?
I was just going to say, it's definitely an interesting change because it's such a huge difference. Now, the number of heroes banned in an all-pit game has maybe increased like 8 times or something, from an average of maybe 2 heroes to now a guaranteed 10. There's going to be a noticeably less heroes in the pool. And it's quite interesting. It's like a tiny bit of a nudge towards like a random draft style of thing where there's like tons of heroes out of the pool. It's like a tiny little nudge in that direction. I just thought it was interesting, the 2 games I played yesterday, that it's really noticeable how many heroes are crossed off on the picking phase. It's like, whoa, suddenly Huskar is banned and
Snapfire
is banned and Snapfire is banned and all these heroes are banned, and it can change the game up quite a lot.
Yeah, what's cool is that the variety of the games in pubs will be better, and I feel like a lot of complaints you often see is, oh, the game's stale, oh, you have to play a certain way, oh, you have to play these certain heroes that are strong, oh, the game's not as fun as it used to be. But now you've got these bans weighted to the most common bans, and that's going to be weighted to the most annoying strong heroes. I do feel like that means your pubs are going to get more varied and more interesting, and the strongest meta isn't going to be as prevalent in every game. You just doing, because you'd have patches and then you'd see the exact same 3 heroes without fail every game, and it's like, geez, this is a bit dull when I'm a carry playing against Snapfire LC for the 5th game in a row. Like, really boring. So it's pretty cool change.
Yeah, I like it for sure. And then looking at the all pick change, Adam, do you have any thoughts on this change to all pick?
This I don't like as much.
Okay.
Because you have less time to think about picks because they happen simultaneously.
Yeah.
So you're just like, what do I do? I've lost Skull just because I always am like a slow picker to begin with. So I just since they happen simultaneously, like the draft is half as long. So I guess that's kind of good one way of thinking about it. But then at the same time, it's like, if you don't have an inkling of what you want to play anyways, and if 10 heroes get banned, you kind of have to survey what's going on. And then all of a sudden you're out of time.
Yeah.
And I kind of think cheese picking might be easier.
It's more random. It's more cheesy now. I mean, that's the perspective I was going to bring with this.
Because you just last pick, and there's you just save your cheese pick for last, and they're probably not going to counter it. You have to be unlucky.
But then the idea is both teams will save the cheese pick to last, right? So it's
so they both teams have an equal chance of getting a cheese off, but there's now no way of getting a guaranteed cheese pick. There's no such thing as last pick.
Yeah,
there's no such thing as a last pick anymore. So now, in the past, like, oh, this is a perfect Brood, Huskar, Meepo, whatever game. That's not a thing anymore. Like, it might look like a perfect Meepo game, say, and then the enemy team just happened to have last pick like Lina, or they happen to have last pick Monkey King, and then you're like, oh, okay, so much for that. Same with Huskar. Say you run into like a Viper or a Lina or something, or Necro. It's like, it's just kind of random, and you're always going to put yourself at the risk of that happening when you pick a cheese hero. But at the same time, it means that if you're a Meepo spammer, or if you're a cheese spammer, you can literally just pick it every single game pretty much, I would say, unless, because an enemy mid, say, is not going to be picked until last in like 80% of games. So you're probably going to be able to pick your cheese every single game now. But it's kind of random whether it's the perfect game or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely a weird one.
I also noticed that if you do not ban, I mean, it's like the cheese heroes that are getting banned in my bracket. It's like Meepo will be banned, Huskar, outside of like the normal heroes like Slardar, Snapfire, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Techies gets banned. So it's like, it's interesting. That part I kind of like because I thought last pick was really strong. So I kind of like simultaneous last pick. But then I don't know, blind picking is kind of weird. And I haven't had it happen yet where you pick the same hero at the same time. So like if that happens, I'll just panic and I'll lose like any idea of what I was trying to do before. Like, oh god, what's kind of like this hero?
Yeah. Last change, we're talking about last pick. Another change for the mid is that power runes now initially spawn at 4 minutes rather than at 2 minutes. And power runes no longer spawn at both sides after 40 minutes, whatever. That's less significant. But this power rune's not spawning at 4 is quite not spawning at 2 is quite interesting because it's probably too early for bottle refilled. But it means that a random DD can't just win you the lane, like level 1. So, or not level 1 if it's 2 minutes, but you know what I mean? It can't just win you the lane at 2 minutes.
Yeah, I like that. You don't get to dominate like 3 waves.
Yeah.
Or like you don't get the lucky regen rune after somebody's like attritions you down over the first 3 minutes. Yeah, and I think it nerfs. I don't know if many heroes are doing like bottle rush, but it does kind of stop that though. The bottle rush, because like you can't make 3 charges last for 4 minutes and be worth it. You know.
I think you definitely could have saved a lot of Magic T tiers if this change had happened a year ago. I know that Stan's definitely been triggered by losing the mid lane because of that 4-minute power rune giving someone a DD.
Yeah. For me, the classic Magic T line is whoever this rune spawns for wins the lane when we both go to different sides. We'll both go to different sides and like we've both got a bottle or something, or we're both low. And then it's just like, okay, I guess let's toss a coin for who wins the lane now. Yeah. There's tiers to come, don't worry. The tiers are
Yeah, you'll find another way to bring them in. The second power rune change, not spawning 2 after 40 minutes, I think that's a really big change. So if you're in control of the game at 40 minutes, getting 2 power runes and like, oh, I now might be able to get that DD or that even illusion rune on a carry at 40 minutes, just they are very strong at 40 minutes in the game. And so this change means that if you're ahead, you aren't going to snowball that as much.
Yeah, I think half a chance at DD is nice.
Yeah, because it is really strong if you're ahead, and then you get the runes that give you this big power spike, and it's a bit like, kind of sucks to be the losing team, but now it's a bit more favored to the team behind. So I don't mind that, honestly. I always like these changes that mean it's easier to come back or it's harder to win.
With a little bit of fear towards our time restraints, these gold changes, does anyone know what's going on? Removed team-based rubber band mechanics for hero kills, and then all of this hero gold spree changes. I don't know what these mean, but can we refer the listeners anywhere that we know of?
I read a Reddit comment /thread, and the conclusion to it seems to be that, comeback mechanic's still there. It's just heroes with the highest net worth and with higher kill streaks have bigger bounties, and heroes with lower net worths, e.g. supports, even if you're ahead, wouldn't give big bounties. And so the person concluded just focus on the rich hero and the person with the kill streaks.
Interesting. I feel like that's happened before. That's a continuation of a change that I feel like I've read that conclusion previously.
I feel like it could be. I'm not certain what change has been taken away. I've read this conclusion of just killing the hero with the highest net worth means more gold.
That's interesting because
killing a support doesn't mean much, even if you're
I'm not saying you're wrong at all, but I know when we played yesterday, Dynamic was saying that how like Alchemist was back because of these changes. It was less punishing for him to die. I don't know if he's got the wrong end of the stick, but maybe there's more reading to be done. I don't know. I haven't done any, so I really don't know.
I'm not sure about that. Someone's TLDR was killing the hero with the highest net worth means a lot of gold, whereas a support
regardless of whether they're winning or losing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if you're 15k behind, but you have an alchemist that's the most farmed hero on the map, and you die, you're still going to give up a lot of gold.
Okay.
I had heroes where I die, I give up like 400 gold. I'm like, dang, I feel like we're losing. Why am I giving up 475? But I think it's because if you're near the top or on a kill streak. So it'll be weird. No comeback mechanics. Interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting change. That might be one that slowly shifts the meta in a big way over time. We'll have to see. One change that I do think is interesting that I'm not sure about is Captain's Mode ban counts per phase changed from 3-2-1 to 4-1-1. 4 first phase bans, and then only 2 bans after picking starts. Kind of weird. I don't know, 4 bans before a pick, 8 bans, sorry, before a pick happens seems kind of
huge.
insane. Yeah.
But even then, like the second phase counter ban, only having 1.
Yeah.
That's...
I think you have to get the first phase so right now. You have to get the first ban phase and the first pick phase so right. It's like the most important thing in the game.
Yeah.
But I always think about these changes applied to like TI, and it was always the case, usually in TI, you know, there are maybe some OP heroes and one always gets out. You think about, say, OG in the final, and like they let you have to choose, like, do you let Mag out? Do you let IO out? Do you let Ench out? And now I guess it's even harder, but once the draft gets going, it's harder to stop a team who's ahead or has momentum or is building a strong team.
But we won't ever figure out how that's a difference because TI is not going to happen and we don't play Captain's Mode anyways.
I'm still holding out hope for TI. End of August. Come on, world. Sort yourself out by the end of August. Kick this coronavirus away, please. Radiant Ancient Creeps easier to stack, blah, blah, blah. Tier 1 changes to drop rates. Illusion Rune now has a similar cast mechanic to Manta. That's fun, but probably...
Niche, but pog.
Niche, but pog, yeah, I would say that's an accurate description. And that brings us to the item changes. Of these neutral item changes, is there any that you think is interesting?
10 extra gold on Philosopher's Stone.
Yes.
Makes it not bad. I feel like it's just so medium. 60 is so meh. 70 is a little better, probably still meh. I feel like as a support, holding it just destroys your ability to hit any creeps. Like, any creeps at all.
Yeah. It's definitely used to be really strong, and then they nerfed it, and now it's kind of bringing it back a little bit, I suppose. I think it's interesting that Iron Talon works on Ancients now.
Yeah, I think that's the big one.
That's
tier
very
ones.
funky.
Yeah, there's going to be lots of heroes now that's what you keep, because you can just immediately go to the Ancients.
Yeah.
And get the big creep out of the way, make a lot of more neutral items drop.
Yeah.
I don't remember if old Iron Talon ever worked on Ancients.
No, it never has worked on Ancients.
Yeah, so this is like kind of cool.
Yeah. Enchanted Quiver cooldown from 8 to 6. Does that mean the item's not F tier anymore? Or D tier or whatever?
I don't
or
know.
Tier 4 or however you...
I think you should have it. I think somebody on your team should use that because it works on melee. It's 300 damage.
Yeah.
A 6-second cooldown. Like, that's strong.
Yeah, for sure. I think the cooldown's significant. I mean, 8 to 6, that's very significant.
Yeah, even like if you're Crystal Maiden, you can kind of throw out a little projectile and then run away. 300 damage is totally worth it.
Yeah.
No, and you get plus 400 bonus range for the attack, so you're not even having to put yourself in harm's way to get that right click off. So it is just, you've now got another spell, 300 damage, you cast from 100,000 attack range away. I think that's really good. 6 seconds. Get a few of them off in a fight. It's pretty strong.
But I think even if you're not, if like you're a life stealer and this drops in the jungle for you and you don't have like that great of a tier 2, you just hold it and use it because you can blow someone up.
I mean, yeah, you could argue 50 DPS. If you did the maths, you're a scientist, Adam.
Yeah.
300 divided by 6.
Yes.
50 DPS sounds decent.
Yep.
Here's another number for you. Spider Legs increases your turn rate.
Oh my god.
Got buffed by a 66% margin.
This is so obnoxious of a change. I'm just scarred to see this go up. I hated watching heroes slip away and just be
I love Spider Legs.
And now it's OP again? Even more OP?
Because it makes you even faster than it did normally, and your turn rate gets buffed too. Oh man, turn rate I feel like is so undervalued because that's how a lot of things are balanced, and all of a sudden you don't really have one anymore. So if you're getting chased, you can like turn around, pop hex somebody, and then still run away and not die. You know, there's just like a lot of plays that you get around. I wonder what a wisp with spider legs does, because he doesn't have a turn rate, right? So I guess he just doesn't.
Nothing happens to him, probably.
He's just a ball.
Yeah, he gets like a mini. That'd be funny if you got like a bonus when you change directions. You get like a 20 or whatever it is, 50% increase in speed temporarily. Then you'd have to like spam stutter step side to side, and you go faster on Wisp. That'd be cool.
Some crazy
increase the skill edge.
Some crazy Wisp physics getting involved here.
Yeah.
Am I right though that he doesn't have one?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if his was the lowest or if he just didn't. Yeah.
He just doesn't have one. He has the lowest cast point of any hero in the game that has a cast point. That's another fun fact about Wisp.
It's not 0.
Yeah, it's like 0.001 or something, tether cast point for some reason. Anyway, that's a little nugget for the listeners. Let's move on though, because Town Portal Scroll cost increased from 50 to 90. That, and then also tacked on to the end of that, is that Boots of Travel no longer have an active. Upgrades Town Portal Scroll while equipped. Reduces its cooldown to 40 seconds, the same as BOT's was before, and allows it to target units, does not consume a charge on usage. And the movement speed, just the straight up movement speed increase of BOTs is now up from 35% to, or from 32% to 38, and I guess 35 to 34, and that's BOT2, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, so those are interesting changes. Marco, I know you got BOTs in a game yesterday. So I don't know, you can choose to just talk about the TP cost increase or BOTs, but quite somewhat significant changes.
Yeah, it's definitely the top 3 item change. It is a really big one. So first on the TP scroll, obvious biggest impact is on the supports. It's going to hurt them the most. Gaben was like, well, Icefrog was like, supports have been having too fine and dandy a time, so we're going to hit the gold they have with this TP cost. So that's quite interesting. But then the BOTs, the biggest effect is that you can't do your TP play followed by Boots of Travel play. So say TP home, Boots of Travel back in. So you kind of halve the mobility that you get from Boots of Travel. Massive nerf to those heroes that got it. To be honest, again, I quite like the change of nerf in it, because heroes that did have Boots of Travel, it did feel disproportionately good that you had this semi-global mobility of TPing home and TPing to a lane, or TPing back to defend and then getting back to your team. You got so much value from Boots of Travel, so the heroes that could and wanted to get it got major value, and arguably too much value. That's how Icefrog sees it, because now still the same cost, but you're completely nullifying that semi-global nature. So
yeah, it just turned every hero into Nature's Prophet.
It did, yeah.
And every hero could split push with ease. Late game, just like, oh, I'm going to TP out, Boost of Travel, cut this wave, and then TP back, and then...
Arguably a bit unfair, but also kind of for the state of the game, it maybe is a bit too easy to play the game of Dota if you get these BOTs, and it kind of lowers the difficulty level of the macro gameplay of, all right, pushing creeps and being in the right position at the right time. So that's quite cool. It's made the game harder, really, if you're like one of these cores.
It's like a semi-gimmick, or it was a semi-gimmicky kind of way to just be like, oh, you split push a lane, doesn't matter anymore. Now, I guess it's an indirect buff to like Rat Dota, must be.
And like Kunkka Ember, because they can still X and TP back.
Yeah, I'd like the movement speed buff. I was playing it with Puck, and I could feel the extra movement speed ever so slightly, and I'm a big fan of movement speed for just movement around the map, so that does help a little bit. But yeah, it means everyone else who's not got BOTs is shafted way less, because you're now not OP with them.
40-second cooldown is really good.
Yeah, and you want BOTs to get that low cooldown still.
Yeah, you're still going to be really mobile, and you can still
relatively
waves. Like, yeah, but it's just not like the OP level of a mobile. So I like it still. I've built it a couple times. It's like, it still felt solid. I was still happy I had it, because I don't have to spend 90 gold on a TP anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a way you do get some gain back from the change.
Yes.
I will say it does feel weird pressing TP scroll hotkey on creep.
Yeah.
And it like works. It's like, I don't like this.
You think you're going to misclick, yeah.
Yeah.
Looking through some of these other item changes, though, there's a lot of changes in the patch, so I think a lot of them we will just skip over. Javelin, slight nerf. Mjolnir, slight nerf. Some changes to Orb of Venom I don't think are that significant. Less
don't
damage
build it
per
on
second.
range.
Okay.
Yeah,
don't build it on range. Yeah,
Because
I mean,
now
don't
it's
do it anyway.
Yeah, now it's not even a damage item for a ranged hero.
No.
All it should be used for is a melee slow.
Yeah, I kind of like it. It means it's more. You can start with this item now in kill lanes. Like, say you can start with it on a Tusk. You can start with it on a melee 4 and just like run down heroes quite nicely. Start with it on an Ogre Magi, say, and just run at heroes. That's quite fun. Ring of Regen, cost reduced. And then some changes to these build-up items, Buckler, Bassi, and Headdress. None of them give stats anymore. None of them require an Iron Branch anymore. And a lot of their side things, so whether it's the HP regen, the mana regen, or the armor, they're all buffed a little bit. So interesting changes there. Vlad's has had some of its all stats reduced as well. Here's an interesting change. Bloodthorn now requires Hyperstone instead of Chrysalis. Attack damage reduced from 75 to 30. No longer gives passive critical strike, but now gives attack speed of 85 rather than 30. Marco, you were saying yesterday how, to your mind, this is quite a big hit for Bloodthorn. Now it's significantly less good of an item.
Yeah, I think it, on the whole, is much less good. You've basically swapped Crystallis, which arguably is the most value core item in Dota, with its low cost and ridiculous damage output.
Well, it's nerfed now.
Okay. Crystallis, damage down, cost up, crit chance up. Yeah, so it has been nerfed a little bit. True, but you've now replaced that Crystallis component with a Hyperstone, and you don't really care about having that much attack speed for you as a core until the late game, really. Because if you think about effective damage output, it's a mix of attack damage and attack speed. In the mid game, you are more looking to have damage items, and I think your effective damage output's going to be higher by getting damage items rather than attack speed. And it's only later in the game when your stats are more and your damage is up that attack speed brings a lot of value. So now Bloodthorn, I don't really feel like, I mean, I guess who built it, Void Spirit is one hero in my mind. I wouldn't want to be a Void Spirit. Profit eventually, yeah, but I don't think Void Spirit wants this item at 21 minutes now because he got it for the big damage it brought him.
No, you're still critting on when you do the active on someone. So there's
but
there's that at least.
I think on the whole it's worse.
Cheaper too. I think it's cheaper because a Hyperstone is cheaper than a Chrysalis.
A little bit cheaper. It's still a very expensive item.
I don't think it's slot efficient. I played against a Nature's Prophet last night, and I was very upset in the game. And Bloodthorn was the reason why I was very upset. But there's probably more to that. I think it isn't as good on the whole, though.
One thing that I do think is interesting is that it opens up Bloodthorn Daedalus, which could be like a really insanely sick combination. You talk about pairing attack speed with damage. Previously, those items obviously didn't go too well together, and they went okay, but not amazingly. Now you might see a lot of heroes get some sort of semi-utility with a Bloodthorn, and then get the Daedalus, or whichever way around suits each hero. That's kind of an interesting late-game item composition now.
This also gives 20 more attack speed than Mjolnir now. So, like, this is the attack speed item, right?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
85 attack speed? Also, it gives damage, and Mjolnir really doesn't... I think it gives more damage than Mjolnir, too.
Yeah, Mjolnir's just like, because it's got the Maelstrom component, so it's for farming, you like proc with the attack speed, that's why so I guess that's kind of an added thing, this doesn't have a proc.
This is another attack speed option.
Yeah.
So, that's interesting.
And Battle Fury now requires Broadsword and Mithril Hammer instead of Demon Edge and Recipe. Adam, you were hyped for the Battle Fury when the patch drops.
I thought it cost less, but it costs the same.
Oh, okay. Oh, because of the recipes.
Because the recipe makes it the same.
But it's still better.
Better build up, way better build up.
And the fact you've got better build up means you could get this item a minute faster. because rather than sitting on 2,000 deadweight gold waiting for your Demon Edge, you've got a Mithril Hammer, which is 24
Or you
damage.
just buy this broadsword, 1,000 for 16. That's solid. Like you can just buy that first and get that out, or the Perseverance. I mean, I think that might even got buffed a little bit. Maybe
making broadsword relevant in 2020 feels good.
Yeah.
Yep.
We already
Perseverance was less on the whole too. Sorry, it's 50 gold cheaper for the whole thing. So somehow they changed the build up on like 3 of the items. I think it still costs the same. So
yeah. That's nice for those Battle Fury heroes. Do you think any heroes start to look back towards Battle Fury? Obviously, AM's like a classic, and PA is another kind of classic. Do you think you see a hero like Jug or Void Spirit? I mean, not Void Spirit. A hero like Jug or Faceless Void, Troll.
I think they should try it. I mean, the cleave does more in heroes now, right?
Yes, that's true, yeah. And Mjolnir's nerfed. Mjolnir's got 10 less attack speed, and I feel like you have to go for one of the two. Yeah,
you're either going like the Manta build, like the Yasha. I don't think Yasha Maelstrom's very good now on heroes.
Yeah.
So I think
I could see Battle Fury coming back.
Try Battle Fury, especially since Ring of Health now is 6.5 regen. Instead of 6. That's like a lot. Also, your support's going to be having a headdress if they know what they're doing. So that's another, 2.5?
If they know what they're doing. Bringing down the Adam Hammer of Smite right here.
I mean, we glossed over these 3 items. They're really strong, even though they don't give stats.
Yeah.
Headdress is 2.5. Yeah. And it's 375. That's nothing. You just buy that now, and you can still get tangos and wards and like mango. And
that's interesting.
Buckler is really good as well, but it doesn't give aura creeps now. But it also costs way less. They made them all cost 375. So I think they're all super solid.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to trigger Adam even more now by skipping over a lot of other items and jumping to Nullifier, which no longer mutes enemies, now continuously dispels the target. Duration reduced from 6 to 5. Slow's been slightly changed. Cooldown slightly reduced. Cast range increased by quite a lot. That's quite nice. Bit of the change to the armor from the Helm of the Iron Will component, and damage is increased by 15. Kind of interesting. Do you think that the heroes that buy Nullifier won't anymore? It means that you can't do the Doom thing anymore if you get Orchid Nullifier. Is this now situationally built against buff heroes? I'm basically struggling to...
I mean, it's a damage item. 80 damage and 8 armor.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Good cast range. But this is kind of like... So continually dispels is like... Demonic Purge? Yeah, it's the Shadow Demon ult. So they can't... I think you actually can't... Can you Yules it off? I think you might be able to Yules it off.
You can't use off Demonic Purge, can you?
No, but I think you might be able to Yules this off. But I think you can. I think you can nullify a Yules.
Yes, you can nullify a Yules.
Yeah, but I don't think. But it's like you still get this against Ghost Scepter because they can't Ghost Scepter at any point during your nullifier, or you could purge it off. But I'm pretty sure I was looking into it. I think you can Yules it off, which makes it a lot worse.
Oh, that seems unfair if you can. It's an interesting question. I would have thought you couldn't. Because like you say, if you can get someone out of Yules with it, why would you not just come down straight away?
Here I go, testing it, and I'm going to...
Alright, whilst Adam does his test, I like this nullified change. I think it has got way stronger on the whole. So the slow reduction, rather than 100% slow for 0.4 seconds, it's 80% slow for 0.5 seconds. I think this is a definite buff because you don't really care about that, they're now slowed loads versus, or a bit less than loads. You care about the duration that they're stunned for because that helps you keep the gap distance 0. Whereas when they're slowed for less time, they're going to get away that bit faster. So that's better. Lower cooldown, 13 to 11, way more active, very cool. Cast range, 50% up, 600 to 900. That is very cool. You can use that from very far away. You can use it from out of vision. And then, like Adam said, or armor and damage. So lots of buffs, I think. And I do prefer this continuous dispel for 5 seconds rather than a one-off dispel, because that means all the buffs that any hero gets over 5 seconds will always get cancelled. And the only negative I see to these changes is that you can't stop BKB now because you don't stop items being used. So
now, sorry, one other thing that it's the next patch line is Force Staff, and it's dispellable. So this is the anti-Force Staff item. If it's continually dispelling, they get Force Staff, they just get rooted in place.
Ah, interesting. Yeah.
So
yeah,
they can't be saved by that.
And just a Glimmer, in the past you can nullify someone and then they get saved by a Glimmer. There are a lot of save kind of spells in Dota.
Yeah.
So
and you
protect Omni
also,
protection, whatever.
Yeah. Also, this cast range increased from 600 to 900. Does this open it up to some ranged heroes? Previously, you only ever saw Nullifier, say, being built on like a TA.
True.
Could you see it now on some other ranged cores? Say, like, I'm thinking like a Huskar, because now they can't be saved by 4-staff or anything. Could you feasibly build it on, I don't know, Shadow Fiend maybe, or TB if it was really turned out to be really broken? I feel like it maybe opens up to range heroes a little bit more. I don't know to what extent, but perhaps.
I think the Ain Arbor is really good on a melee.
That is true, yeah.
That's true.
I think that 4-staff not being undispellable is probably the biggest buff to Nullifier. Because I'm thinking, you used Nullifier in the past because you stopped BKB and you stopped Yules. Adam will tell us about Yules, but...
So I did it. And you can Yules it, and you cannot purge a Yules with Nullifier. So
you can save yourself with Yules?
Yeah.
Yes. So does Yules removes the debuff, so you can Yules yourself, and then you can be 4-staffed when you come down?
Yeah. And I'm trying the... Okay, yeah, but if you Nullifier someone and they Force Staff, they go like maybe 150 range before they get rooted in place?
Yes, the way I'm seeing that 4-staff change really benefit a Nullifier, in particular on a range hero, is say you are engaging on an enemy hero, you nullify them, you know for sure that they can't get push saved by the team. They also can't get saved by spells either. So it really makes that hero kind of locked down in place. It's almost like a control item, almost, if they don't have BKB or Yules. So, in a way, I feel like I can't think of examples in my head, but I do feel like there could be cases where there's an enemy that I feel like this could get used more because it is a lot of buffs. It's a lot of buffs, so will get tried out more for certain.
Yeah.
The other thing is Nullifier's projectile is kind of slow, so it's like it has to be a preemptive. It's like you're not going to root someone mid-force with it, you know?
Yeah.
But preemptively, very good.
Let's scroll down just a tiny bit then to 2 changes to 4-staff and Glimmer Cape. Massive range reductions, cast range reductions. 750 to 550 for 4-staff and 800 to 550 for Glimmer Cape. Is this just making support's life a lot harder, basically?
Yes.
So supports are much more at risk in fights, and just you're going to have to position quite differently. Adam, I don't know if you've played any support games with these items yet.
Not with
have
a
you
force,
noticed?
But I will say, if anyone's played a Baden, a Photic Shield is 500, and you'll know that that is nothing. That is no range. You have to basically be hugging somebody to save them. And it's okay for a Baden because you at least have your ult to save you. But with a support 550, there's going to be some people dying. I will say that. Walking in, the low HP, the slow Crystal Maiden comes in the 4-staffer carry out and then just blows up. That will definitely happen. And the same with Glimmer Cape, since that's 800 to 550. It's so low, which means there's going to be a lot more Aether Lenses in my games, which means there's going to be a lot more useful item builds in my games.
Yeah. Those are big changes, I think, making support life a lot harder. Observer Ward, 200 less range. That's low-key a big change. We know how important vision is in Dota 2. 200 in a radius is quite a big deal. Holy Locket has been buffed again. We'll see whether that item ever becomes good. Then other changes. Looking through the rest of these, is there anywhere you want to go for the items, or should we jump to heroes?
I'd just say the Silver Edge one is pretty nice. It now reduces regen and heals by 50%. So if you think about your Huskars or your Bristlebacks, who have a lot of natural HP regen from items, halving that over the course of the break duration. Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't know how long that is. It's not super long, but it just helps.
4 seconds.
Yeah.
Why are they throwing Spirit Vessel onto a Silver Edge? That's very interesting.
I guess they want this active to be more of like a big deal. It already is quite a big deal against heroes that rely on passives, but
yeah.
I like the infused raindrops going to get 0.9 instead of 0.75. I know it's not much, but it means that you can buy the item, and I always feel good about the mana regen, that it's not just giving me damage reduction on magic, it's also giving me a little bit more mana. So it's quite sweet. Beyond that, a lot of touch-ups that we'll skip. Heroes then, quite a few changes if we take into account 7.5 or 7.25 and 7.25A. Straight off the bat, do we have any ideas of heroes you want to go to? Some of the biggest changes that you think?
Well, you can just look at A to see which heroes are really strong in the first day. Actually,
I don't.
Ursa was very strong. So I guess maybe that was the only one that got... I didn't see Night Stalker being that big of a problem. I do think they needed to rescale Bounty Hunter. But I don't even think Bounty Hunter Ags is good. It's like a meme. We'll see. But Ursa was in every game because he was ridiculous. He's still really good. But
it was
Ursa,
8 or 9% win rate increase on the back of the patch.
Yeah, and so basically what he had was instead of damage being per stack, he just got natural damage on his. Let me pull him up.
So the damage you got from Fury swipes went up.
Yeah, because his ult Enrage doesn't have a multiplier anymore.
Yeah.
So Enrage is just for status resistance and damage reduction. And they kind of threw on his level 25 talent on Enrage, because now it's just Giga status resistance. It's really just a defensive / run in, be a problem spell. And all of his damage now comes from just Fury swipes, just stacking naturally. And it was 40 damage at level 4 of the spell.
Yeah, that's insane.
And then they also, they reduced overpower attack counts by 1, but then they also significantly reduced the cooldown of it. So you just had more of them.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter that you've lost a tick of 1, really, because when you've got a cooldown of 7 seconds at level 4, you're going to use overpower. 7 seconds later, you're then going to start, at least 7 seconds later, you're going to start your fight. So you're always guaranteed to get 2 rounds of overpower in. So losing that 1 tick isn't really that hurtful.
It's just more damage overall. You don't have to even wait, to go in. Because before it's okay, I'll wait for, if you have a blink, wait for blink cooldown to come up, or okay, I need to wait till overpower comes off cooldown. It's no, I'll just keep chasing, keep running. Overpower will come up. I'll Q. I'll jump forward. And his level 25 talent was 80% stat resist on Enrage. Now he doesn't have that talent anymore. He gets 50 status resistance on Enrage always. So I think you would take 30% less just to be able to do that level 6. 50% status resistance from level 6 is really good.
Yeah. but Icefrog did touch up the hero a bit in this rescue patch, 7.25a. His movement speed's been reduced by 5. We all know how much impact movement speed changes can have. And the Fury Swipe damage has been reduced, so rather than 40 at level 4, it's now 36. I mean, big deal, really. It's still a big buff compared to where it was before 7.25. And the overpower cooldown rescaled, so now it's a 9-second cooldown at level 4 rather than a 7-second cooldown. Adam, you still think the hero's good, right? I mean, I haven't seen the stats.
Yeah, I would suggest everyone play it. I mean, they'll see it in their games.
Okay.
I feel like it goes in cycles where Ursa's back.
Yeah.
It's either the thing to do or not around at all.
Yeah.
And I think he's back to the thing to do.
Yeah. Let's go to a couple of the meme / broken / what's going on changes, and that's these 2 Aghanim Scepter changes, Void Spirit and Snapfire. Let's do Snapfire first, because it's kind of ridiculously weird.
It's broken.
Gobbles up a hero, and then you spit him out at the range of a Mortimer's Kiss. It's even bigger than a normal glob. It does DPS and it stuns, correct?
Yes. It's like a cookie mixed with a kiss.
Yes. Adam, you've seen it in action, and it's actually good.
Yes. I've seen it in a Bulldog game, and I've played against it. I thought I died because a Wind Ranger was either smoked or got an Invis rune. And it turns out, no, she was just Mortimer's Kiss, initiated on me. From the Roche pit, and I was in my jungle.
I don't get why it lets it stun on impact. 1.5 second stun from 2,000 rounds.
It's a kit. Or it's a cookie.
But I'm just throwing any core on any support's face, 1.5 second stun for them to just clean up and do the rest of the job. Never mind the fact you've got the glob DPS, so you get damage from this smack out as well.
In the Bulldog game, he was just throwing in a Crystal Maiden, and it was fine because you stun in the AoE, and then she frostbites, and everyone follows up. But he also had a Spin, which looked ridiculous because you'd throw in a Spin, and he would ult and cleave everyone, and then follow it up, with another Stormhammer. I could see it being good with an RP, or you just throw in some tanky boy, throw in an Ursa. You have absolutely, or you can gobble up a rolling Pango and toss it.
That's funny.
There is no need for initiation anymore. You throw someone 3,000 distance. You just have insane catch.
There is a need for 4,000 gold though.
Yeah. So there's that, yeah.
It's not cheap.
I think it's a bit of a meme. I could see you griefing your team with it pretty easily.
Oh, that's funny.
Tossing someone into 5 and then they die. But if everyone's on the same page, that you're just going to be really aggressive and run after people, I think it's really strong. I'm not as worried about that one as I am about the other hero, though.
Void Spirit, yeah. Resonant Pulse is now a charge-based ability with 2 charges. Now silences enemies for 2 seconds. I'll come back to you, Adam, in a minute. But Marco, do you think this fits into the build for Void Spirit? Is it that good?
Maybe on a 3 Void Spirit that wants to offer a bit more utility, it could be Omega Strong, being able to silence multiple heroes for extended duration. I think for a mid damage dealing Void Spirit, you probably don't. Maybe in some games it's really useful, but on the whole, maybe not what you want straight away because you do need to build up your own damage output. But I think in late game, even if you're a mid, or even if you're a 1, this is going to be possibly Omega Strong. Both these ag seems disproportionately good, and that's probably intended.
That's probably why they didn't put them in the game on ship, because they wanted to figure out how the heroes were OP just as themselves before they gave them the OP ags.
True. Yeah.
But I don't think it's first item. I've had people in my games do it first item.
Yeah, that's going to be underwhelming.
Blow up. Yeah, there's too much. There's 3,000 dead gold in the ags build up. But I just think it's insane. It's a hero that already has one ability with 2 charges. Now you give them another ability with 2 charges. Resonance Pulse dealt so much damage. The hero is already so hard to catch, and now a support comes up and gets silenced for 2 seconds. And it's better than it's silencing for 4 seconds because it's broken up into 2 charges. So you can break it up over so many different combos and outplays of like, I'm going to silence these people for 2 seconds now, and then I'm going to jump all around and then silence for 2 seconds later, and it's just be like broken up. And I don't know, it's like thrown on, like Resonance Pulse deals so much damage, and it has a talent that makes it deal even more, right?
Yeah.
Like you could just solo a support just by popping that twice, and you don't even care about having the physical shield forever or the silence. You just blow someone up.
I don't think the blow up's that crazy.
The only thing I'm concerned about is that mana pool. It's a lot of mana to use all these spells.
Yeah.
Over and over again, but it's a lot of damage.
If you yeah, it is quite a bit. But I feel like it'd be more powerful if you've, say, got a position 1 and 2 that are damage dealers, and if you go this 3 utility, you have a Yules and a Aghanims, the amount of control, say, with your Yules, with your Q-pull, and then the silence, AoE silence across multiple enemy heroes, that's a lot of disruption from your 3 to then let your team just wreak havoc. So I feel like on the utility side, it's going to be way more strong.
At level 15, this is a 320 nuke. So that's just 640 damage without him casting any other spell.
So you gain a plus 320 damage from having Ags, which is 4k gold.
And 4 seconds of silence in an AoE.
And 4 seconds of silence.
And double
for 4k.
Fizz shield.
Mm.
I don't know, I just feel like there's so many times I walk up as a hero and you try and lock him down, and usually you do is just blow up. Now you're just going to be silenced and just be stuck there staring at him while he just does everything, abuses the fact that you have a slow turn rate, and
I think
explode.
Something like, maybe not Chrysalis now, but even, say, Dezo Orchid could be really cool. Not Orchid, sorry, Dezo Ags on a core mid Void Spirit, because you can do your combo, like jump in with your ult and do your damage, but then you're able to just stand and right-click them because they can't disable you, and you can get, say, 4 seconds of right-click. That's going to be strong. So that means, it shouldn't be first item, I don't think, but it could be very strong as a second.
Let's spend the last sort of 5 minutes name-checking some of these other changes. I want to shout out Pugna. Netherward mana drain rescaled, so I think it's better at lower levels. And also life drain damage has been reduced, but the cooldown's been reduced massively from 22 to 7. I think this pushes Pugna 4 in, like a nice buff to the Netherward, and having a very low cooldown life drain that still heals just as much as the damage that's been nerfed. So it'd be very cool to see some more 4 Pugna involved. It nerfs, obviously, mid Pugna, which is a shame. The range on life drain is annoying, and obviously the damage stuff. So that is a big shame. But I'd definitely be in to see some 4 Pugna. I think 4 Pugnas are kind of exciting. So we'll see.
I don't even know if it is a nerf because you have so much more uptime.
Yeah.
Like you might get more damage off overall. I think it might nerf you waddle up and you blow up somebody.
Definitely
nerfs that. In a team fight, you're a lot less of a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Like you are getting 2 life drains off in a fight at 7 seconds, for sure.
Yeah. It's definitely... Yeah, maybe it could be just an overall buff. Not overall buff, yeah. But the blow-up potential is less. But that's probably fine, because it makes Pugna more of a well-rounded hero rather than just like a gimmick, Dagon 5 gimmick blow-up hero. Another change, Sniper, base damage increased by 4. Headshot damage has been reduced at all levels by 10. And Assassinate Scepter cast point has been halved. Marco, 4 base damage, that's pretty nice. It's the biggest single damage increase. Do you think that changes the hero a lot, or do you think it just makes it still sort of the same, but like a bit more pickable, a bit stronger.
Yeah, it is going to make him that little bit more pickable. It's obviously nothing groundbreaking, but
say it is like a 10% damage buff.
Yeah,
because he hits so low normally.
Yeah,
he is annoyingly how low his attack damage is, so makes it a bit nicer. Does give it a gentle push. I think the overall theme of this patch is all buffs to heroes, so that is cool to see, and it's definitely trying. Yeah, everyone's been buffed who's in this patch. So it's just kind of trying to get everyone that bit more popular and that bit more played, and we see the all pick change, trying to get basically the game a bit more inclusive of all the heroes that exist.
That seems to be the Icefrog way, is on the non-letter patches, so 7.24 or 7.25. It's like buffs, tons and tons of buffs, and then these mini patches are all nerfs. That seems to be the formula, and I don't see a reason why that's not a good thing.
I will say that that cast point on Assassinate, 1 second to half a second, that might as well be instant. And with the Ags stun for 2 seconds from 3,000 range,
yeah,
it's strong. That is strong.
Yeah. Any other changes that we want to cover here out of the heroes?
I would shout out the Mars Ags change. I think that's really one of the best changes, because a lot of these changes are very numbers tweaks, but the Mars Ags change is that it's now not when you ult, you get a really low cooldown God's Rebuke, but just you always get a really low cooldown God's Rebuke. So now it's like 3.5 seconds, say. So it's really good, because when you had Ags on Mars, you were too slow of a hero. You get Ags in the late game, really, but then it means you're only ever getting value and you're only ever a threat once your ult's up, and it's a long cooldown. Whereas now, every time you've got Spear up, say you're level 20 and you've got Ags and you've got the Spear talent, 4 second stun, you're able to Spear, God Rebuke someone, and God Rebuke them again in your Blink Spear combo. That's massive, just momentum to the hero, pace to the hero, damage output to the hero in that late game stage. So you can get a lot more work done now on the whole, which is nice.
Farming item too.
And like farming, true.
Increases your DPS just to get around the map for sure.
Yeah, you have to wait ages when you're not in the Ags for your W to come back up. So in fights, it was really cumbersome. But now it's way more often. I mean, it's like twice as often, if not more. And then, like Adam says, shoving down creep, camp to camp, etc., that bit faster. So I think that's a strong change. The other one I noticed, because, so many just little numbers, but one of the best numbers is Witch Doc's Paralyzing Cask mana cost. Level 1 is now 80 rather than 110. And I think as a level 1 spell, it's like with Lion's Impale, when it got mana cost reduced, really helps when you have cheap level 1 spells as supports to... It means you can add way more pressure, way more aggression, way more defensive capability as well, because you're just throwing spells on the enemy, keeping them away from your carry to farm. Yeah. Whereas a 110 mana spell, it was really expensive, but now 80, you can just fly it all the time.
Is this your level 1 skill instead of Maledict?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Some other changes around the board. Gyrocopter's seen a lot of changes. Jug now has a mini Omni Slash, which is quite funny with the Ags. Lycan, man. Buffs to Lycan. How good does this hero have to be before I try and play him again and lose? I don't know, maybe a bit better. Nature's Prophet with some buffs too. Lots and lots of changes. All numbers, like we said. I'm sure in future episodes when we do the classic... new meta, talk about 2 or 3 heroes in an episode, we'll come back to the change logs for those heroes, so we'll get there in due course.
Can I knock out a few real fast? Just
go ahead, you can give some name checks to change you think.
So Wraith King, I did not know. Did you guys know that Vampiric Aura gave damage to Wraith King?
Nope.
Okay, so apparently at some point at level 4 of the spell, it gives him 24 damage, just naturally. And now that gets buffed by 1.5. Like it says, Vampiric Aura, Lifesteal, and damage on your hero is now 1.5. So that's 36 damage. And you're giving that in an aura, apparently, the 24. So
So
seems good.
And he gets 30% lifesteal just naturally. So that's kind of the max now, is what I've seen a couple of people doing. You get 36 damage at level 7.
That's pretty good.
30% lifesteal. So that this might be a thing where you leave the stun at 1 and you get the other 2. So that seems kind of cool.
Yeah, I never knew they added damage to the aura.
I don't know when that happened. It's like, what?
The fuck?
24 damage? Yeah. Pretty good because you're critting too.
I mean, 36 damage is 1.5 desolators. Not desolators, mithril hammers. That's a chunk amount of gold put into damage from that.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Spirit Breaker has a non-meme, non-terrible ags. I don't know if you're going to get it because you want to go pipe and stuff as like the support, but Scepter now gives you 100% or 100 more move speed on your charge, and it reduces its cooldown by 5. So that's like massive uptime on the charge in fights. You're just charge, and you're really fast, so it's more damage. And Gyro, I think Gyro's back. That was the other one. Well, actually,
as a 1 or as a mid?
Gyro's back as a 1 as a mid because he's like TI3 Gyro, TI4 Gyro now. He has the flak back on a 20-second cooldown. Sure, you get 1 less attack, but it's up way longer.
So good for farming, my goodness.
Yeah, this is going to be Stack City. I don't think it matters that call down is, instead of a 45-second cooldown at 18, it's a 90. It does more damage, and you're going to be AFK farming anyways.
And the cooldown's an underwhelming spell, really, I think.
Yeah, and
it's never been that important to Gyro.
I don't think you use it to farm like you did, but it doesn't matter because you have so much flak, and you also like a significant reduction in attack backswing. Which, if you were like stop moving, you didn't notice, but it feels really good, just normally. It doesn't have this like long lag in between attacks, and I think the other one, which might be even the biggest one in the patch, is Death Prophet. Exorcism just gives her 20% movement speed, just naturally.
That's pretty insane. What's BOT's like? 30, it was like 32 now or something.
Yeah,
so that's pretty insane because it stacks with boots, right?
Yes, and all this hero wanted to do was chase people and be right up on them, and now it's like you don't even have to be forced to go Yules. Like you get to open up so many more options, and I mean, I don't see how a support lives with you just build tanky, pop exorcism, run at someone, siphon them, and they just blow up because you're actually moving at 500. I think super early.
Yeah, no neutral level requirement. Jeez, why was that so hard to say? No neutral level requirement on Death Pact for Clinks, so you can just eat a massive creep at level 1. That's quite fun. Other changes as well. But that's all we have time for, really, on episode 81. And like I said before, we will revisit these changes, any that we don't get to. Certainly if we talk about a hero, we'll always talk about the change log. But yeah, exciting times. Didn't even talk about Meepo in 7.21a. Rest in peace.
Feels bad.
Yeah, feels bad. Until episode 82, though, have a final whistle and stay safe.